Hey guys, Buffing Game back today, bringing our video, and today we're going over our sniper wish list for Modern Warfare 2. I believe this is part 4 of this weapon series, so this is our weapon wish list for Modern Warfare 2 / Warzone 2 with the Modern Warfare weapons. We're going to be covering sniper rifles and DMRs in this video. Now I'll link down below the videos for the assault rifle wish list, the LMG wish list, as well as the submachine gun wish list, and then the part that will be following this will be most likely pistols and shotguns will be part 5, which will most likely be the final part to this as well. So today we'll be covering the sniper rifles. We'll run through this pretty quick because there isn't really as many conversions as we did with the sniper rifle or with the assault rifles and the LMGs for part 1 and 2. Those were relatively long videos, so these ones should be a little bit quicker. Run through these, and I'm probably going to be leaving some off of this list, so let me know down below if I missed something that you wanted to see. Sniper rifles typically aren't usually my go-to in really video games, and the ones that I do typically like to use I did include in this list, so I'm probably missing some good ones here that I think you guys will be able to help me out with. So let me know down below what I missed, what else you would like to see that I didn't mention here for sniper rifles and DMRs or designated marksman rifles. So jumping right into it, this is going to be one that we did see introduced in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War last year, that being the DENEL NTW-20. So before we really jump into this, I just want to say this is going to be broken down. We're going to have AMRs or anti-material rifles in here, sniper rifles, and DMRs. And the DENEL NTW-20 is classified as an anti-material rifle, and with the conversions here, we can have sniper rifles. However, the DENEL NTW is going to be chambered in 20 by 82 millimeter and should perform as an anti-material rifle. So with this, obviously, it should hit really hard in things like ground war or anything like that. It should be a huge round at 20 millimeter, and it should be an insta-kill, in my opinion. And especially in Warzone 2, when this thing gets introduced, it should disable vehicles with shots to the engine block a lot quicker than we see something like the Rytec with the 25 millimeter explosive rounds do. It takes multiple clips of that. So something like a 20 millimeter round to an engine block of a vehicle or to a person should utterly destroy them. So hopefully they can do something with the damage models there and balance that correctly so it's a big heavy weapon. In real life, the DENEL NTW-20 is around 70 pounds. This is a 2-man weapon, so this should be something that you move utterly like a turtle with, basically, and it should take a long time to ADS, things like that, in order to balance it out. Now the conversion for this should be for the NTW 14.5. Now that's going to be a 14.5 by 114 millimeter round, so it would be the conversion here to turn this from an AMR to a sniper rifle. That's going to reduce the weight of the weapon a little bit, however, not too much. However, this is going to allow it to have very highly increased bullet velocity and be very, very accurate with the 14.5 versus the 20 by 82 as the anti-material round. So let me know what you guys think below. Again, regardless of how you're using this weapon, because it is so big, specifically with the 20 by 82, you should move really slow. You should almost have to put it on a bipod or a tripod and be stationary with it when you set up. Things like that to really balance this out, specifically for Warzone. With the 14.5, I think you can be a little bit more mobile with this weapon, because in real life, the 14.5 is around 34 kilograms versus 21 kilograms for the NTW-20. So both of them are very, very heavy rifles. However, the 14.5 conversion would allow you to be more accurate at longer ranges and have very, very high bullet velocity versus the AMR with the 20 by 82. Next up, another AMR / sniper rifle here is going to be the M82. So the M82 is the Barrett M82. Obviously, we've seen this in almost every Call of Duty game introduced, especially we just saw it recently in Black Ops Cold War as well. So 2 weapons here from Black Ops Cold War. However, the M82 has made an appearance at almost every Modern Warfare game thus far. Besides Modern Warfare, they swapped out and put the Rytec in there instead. However, the M82 obviously firing that 50 BMG semi-automatic sniper rifle. Now the conversion for this, because again, firing an AMR round, it is semi-automatic. I think there needs to be a delay within the semi-auto firing a little bit, but not too much. And obviously that 50 BMG should do a lot of damage. Same as we discussed with the NTW-20, it should do a lot of damage to vehicles and actually perform as an AMR and punch through walls, things like that, and be a good damage round to, or a high damage round to infantry. But again, the flip side is it's going to be a heavy weapon. poor mobility, things like that. Now, one conversion for this would be to add the ROPIS rounds. Now, the ROPIS rounds, instead of having a Rytec with that 25mm explosive rounds, put on the ROPIS rounds for the M82. Those are basically going to be explosive rounds of 50 BMG with explosive tips. Those are more used, again, for engaging or disabling vehicles at long range, things like that. So you could have the 50 BMG version at base to be the sniper rifle, and then an ammo type conversion there, or select the type of round you want to fire and turn it into more of an anti-material rifle for engaging vehicles and things like that. Next up, we're going to go with a Russian sniper rifle here. Now, this is one, there actually isn't too much information out there, and it is a weapon I have seen in Escape from Tarkov, that being the DVL-10M3. So this is a Russian sniper rifle firing .308, and again, it is a really interesting sniper rifle. It's a shorter, smaller type sniper rifle, but again, like I said, there's not really that much information about this weapon out there. The DVL-10M1 or M2 or M3, so there's the Saboteur is the M1, the URBANA is the M2, and then the M3 is the Wolfhound as the nicknames for those. So you can have conversions for all of those in there, different barrel lengths, things like that. It's a really aesthetically pleasing sniper rifle, and obviously, typically the Russian sniper rifles can swap out barrels. Same with our sniper rifles here. Swap out barrels, have different rounds, things like that. So the DVL-10 is a really nice looking weapon, and it does have it's a bolt action sniper rifle. Does have a lot of interesting design features with it, especially the suppressor. If anybody played with it in Escape from Tarkov, so this is a weapon I think would be an interesting addition to the game, because it's something we really haven't seen in any game besides Tarkov, to my knowledge. Next up, another Russian sniper rifle being the Orsis T5000. So this is, again, like I said, a Russian sniper rifle firing .338 Lapua Magnum, and this can actually be converted to .308 rounds as well, and .338 can be compatible with things like Winchester Magnum 300, .338 Lapua Magnum, obviously 357 Chi-Tech, 7.62 by 51mm NATO, and 6.5 by 47 Lapua. So it can take a lot of different rounds. Again, this is a more modernized looking sniper rifle from the Russian military. It looks really good, kind of on par with something like a more modernized M24 rifle that we see. But again, to have a nice Russian sniper rifle, a bolt action sniper rifle like this would be really nice to see with all of these ammo conversions as well. Speaking of the M24, the next weapon will be the M24, that being ideally the more modernized version. Now, we did get this added into the game here for Modern Warfare 2019, and in this weapon I think could carry over almost 1-for-1, and obviously have the same conversions that we had with that weapon to turn it into a more modernized version of the M24, that being the M24E1 or the XM 2010, or the IDF modernized M24 SWS. So again, this is obviously an American sniper rifle firing 7.62 by 51mm NATO, and can also be compatible with .338 Lapua Magnum for the M24A3, different versions there for different barrel lengths. And we did see the different rounds available for 7.62 by 51, .338 Lapua Magnum, and I believe it was 338 Lapua, and I forgot what the other one was, 308 Norma Mag, I believe it was, for Modern Warfare 2019. So again, seeing that return would be really nice. I think the best way to balance out some of these sniper rifles, though, is not having the quickest ADS speed, so we don't run into situations like with the Kar 98 and things like that in Modern Warfare 2. Next up, we're going to run with the SV98. So obviously another Russian sniper rifle here. The SV98 is a classic Russian sniper rifle from way back in the Battlefield days for me, personally. I don't believe it's been in any Modern Warfare game to date. However, I could be wrong there. It's a really interesting design or aesthetically looking sniper rifle, and it does fire that 7.62 by 54mm R and 7.62 by 51mm NATO and .338 Lapua Magnum. So there can be conversions there. Again, just a neat looking sniper rifle from the Russian military, and it would be pretty interesting to see that added in the game in some respects. Next up with DMR here on the list would be the H&K G28. So this is something we kind of covered this in the assault rifle wish list with the conversions for something like the M4 to turn it into more of like a Knights Armament Company SR25, things like that. And we also discussed HK 416, 417. And in this case, you could have the G28 as its own DMR or marksman rifle. The G28 is essentially a improved version of the H&K 417. This is a semi-automatic rifle firing 7.62 by 51mm NATO and classified as a designated marksman rifle. We did see this added in Call of Duty Ghosts, and we were supposed to, or at least it was at least rumored in the game files for some point, supposed to see this in Season 3 or 4 of Modern Warfare. Somebody found it in there, but it was never brought to the game. So G28, a really nice looking rifle, has very nice aesthetic features to the weapon. Really, really nice looking. I'd really like to see this out of the game. And again, perform like a DMR. We could do some conversions in Modern Warfare 2019 to have some assault rifles convert to DMRs. And the DMRs we had, like the EBR-14 and the SV, the Russian SKS, just really didn't hit as hard as I would have liked them to. But I think they were balanced relatively correctly. But the G28, again, how do you balance a marksman rifle for a caliber like that? I'll leave that to them, but I think that would be a cool addition to the game to see added. Next up, speaking of, well, honorable mentions, because we did mention it in our assault rifle video, that being the SR25. So whether or not this needs to be a conversion from the M4 or its own separate marksman rifle, the Knights Armament Company SR25, similar to the G28, firing that 7.62 by 51mm NATO, would be really nice to see added to the game. Either the G28 or the SR25, or add one of them and have a conversion to the other, I think would be a pretty neat addition. Next up, the Mark 14 EBR. So Mark 14 we've seen, like I said, in pretty much every Call of Duty game ever for Modern Warfare. This was also in Modern Warfare 2019. And I think you basically just bring that over one for one. Again, how do you balance the marksman or DMR type rifles? I think they did a decent job with it. However, in Warzone, obviously, they didn't really have a place. So if they can balance those correctly somehow and make them fit into Warzone, they obviously work really, really well in multiplayer. I actually had my best multiplayer game in Modern Warfare 2019 ever with the EBR-14. So I'd really like to see that make a return. And again, how do you just balance that from multiplayer to Warzone? There needs to be some differences there, but a really nice classic weapon from Modern Warfare series that I'd like to see added again to this list. Next up, the Dragunov, or the SVDM, would be the modernized version of the Dragunov. I'd like to see that added to the game. Again, this is a weapon that we've seen in almost every Modern Warfare game, and if the campaign is true and you're fighting the Colombian cartels, I would imagine we're going to see a lot of SVDs used there, I'm assuming, because obviously Russian firearms are in use all over the world, so I would assume we're going to be seeing some SVDs, and ideally have conversions to the SVDMs. So this would be basically the same thing we had again in Modern Warfare 2019. Semi-automatic sniper rifle, fits in there with a DMR type weapon that we just discussed with the Knights Armament Company and the G28. How do you balance those for Warzone? Again, not going to comment on that, but I think in Modern Warfare multiplayer, these were all balanced really, really well. Again, I'd like to see this re-added to the game, with an interesting conversion here to turn it into the bullpup, shorter bullpup variant of the SVU. So the OTS 3 SVU is basically a bullpup version of the Dragunov, also referred to as the Dragunov SVU. This again is a designated marksman rifle or a battle rifle, firing the same round as the Dragunov, that being the 7.62 by 54mm R. Just a more compact looking weapon, and does have some very cool looking suppressors. So just a shorter bullpup variant of the Dragunov, really neat. That could be a nice conversion, as we discussed with some other bullpup conversions in some of the other weapon wishlist videos. Next up, the M98B. So the Barrett M98B is a bolt-action sniper rifle firing .338 Lapua Magnum. This would be really cool to see added to the game. I remember this from Battlefield 3 as well as Battlefield 4 days as well. And I would really like to see this re-added with the conversion for the Barrett MRAD. So the Barrett MRAD was derived from the M98B, and this is actually, I believe, adopted, or being adopted by certain branches of the U.S. military. Chambered again in .338 Lapua Magnum is one of the more favorite guns for the sniper rifles within the branch of the military that is being used. So the Barrett M98B with a conversion to the Barrett MRAD would be really nice to see here as well. And next up, it wouldn't be a sniper rifle wish list without the Chi-Tech Intervention or the M200. So the M200, again, this is an anti-material / sniper rifle based on the round that you want to put in this. So firing custom Chi-Tech rounds being the 408 Chi-Tech Tactical or the 375 Chi-Tech, or Cheyenne Tactical is what it's called. So these rounds, again, one could be a sniper round, one could be an anti-material round. We've seen this weapon in the original Modern Warfare 2, and I don't recall if it was in Modern Warfare 3 or not because I didn't really play that game back then. But again, this is a weapon I think everyone really wanted to see added to Modern Warfare 2019, and it never was. So to see it added here would be really nice. Again, with the mass being around 31 pounds, without a scope, put a scope on there, put a magazine in there with what type of rounds. It should be slow mobility. If you have it kitted up for the AMR version versus the sniper rifle version, this should hit really, really heavy. Not as slow mobility as the NTW, obviously, because they're much different rounds in size, and the weight of the weapon is much different. However, this would be a really cool weapon to see added to the game and have it rolls as an AMR as well as a sniper rifle. So that is the end of my list today for sniper rifles. Next time we'll be getting into shotguns and some pistol conversions here. Let me know what you guys think down below here for part, I believe, like I said, this is part 4 of the Modern Warfare 2 weapon wish list. So we'll be seeing this game later on this year. Those are all the sniper rifles today and DMRs. Let me know if I missed anything on the list. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to like the channel, or like the video, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll have part 5 of this out hopefully sometime this week, as well as I'll be doing a wish list for different operators, type milsim operators I would like to see added, as well as, I guess you could call them store bundles and milsim packs, things like that, see added to the game. They did a really good job with that Modern Warfare 2019. I'm thinking of a lot of really good ones that weren't added then that could definitely be added going forward to Modern Warfare 2, especially with 2 years of support. So that'll be probably one video covering all of that, and those can come with custom weapons and blueprints as well. So go ahead and let me know what you guys think of this video down below. Like I said, let me know if I missed anything. Till next time, this is Buffner Gaming, out.